Welcome everybody, it's Tom, and in this video we are going to be talking about Willard Wyler's motives again, except we're going to be talking them from some quotes we got from inside Shaolin Shuffle, and these quotes are obtained through the character bios, and they are very interesting, and we're going to be talking about two quotes specifically because these quotes are very interesting, and they're the only two that really relate. And the quotes are from Poindexter and Selly. Anyways, I'll play you guys a Poindexter quote right here, and then I'll come right back and explain it.
His knowledge will protect the Four. His soul burns bright and will serve me well. The first of the Four has been found. The beginning of the end is near. If you dig deep enough, you can find the truth. Sometimes the truth is harder to believe than the lie.
So the first part of that, Willard Wyler goes and says his knowledge will protect the Four, which is insane because what have we thought Willard Wyler wanted for our characters? What Willard Wyler would have you believe is that he wants our characters dead. He wants our characters to die in some spectacular fashion for his movie, which I've always had a problem with if you guys have watched my videos back during Raven the Redwoods. Because if you think about it, these are his old movies. These are movies he already created. Zombies of Spaceland, Raven the Redwoods, Shaolin Shuffle, these are all his older movies. So it didn't really make that much sense to me that he want our characters to go and die in some spectacular fashion inside one of his old movies. That didn't make too much sense to me. Unless he's making remakes of his old movies, there's no reason he should be doing that. So it had to be some other reason, and I wasn't entirely sure at the time. Of course, I'm pretty sure it had something to do with the soul keys. But in the next part of the quote, Willard Wyler is saying his soul burns brightly, he will serve me well, of course talking about Poindexter, which is very interesting because back in Raven and Redwood, people were saying that Poindexter was working with Willard Wyler, which kind of makes it sound like that right here because Willard Wyler only says this about Poindexter, which makes it even more suspicious. But I still don't know if that confirms anything because he could just be saying that he's going to serve him indirectly just by throwing him inside this film. No matter what he does, it's going to fit Poindexter's goals best because he wants to escape the film, but by escaping the films, he's going to be serving Willard Wyler by collecting the soul keys or whatever it is. So that's what I at least interpret it as, but it could be either way. It would be interesting, a big twist if Poindexter was actually working with Willard Wyler, but we'll have to see. But he is getting more and more suspicious, but we'll still have to see. And then this last part of the quote, he says the first of the Four has been found, which already confirms right there that these characters were not picked randomly. They were not random at all. Willard Wyler wanted these four characters specifically because of something that happened in their past. And of course, if you guys have watched the character bios video I made, then you would know this. But if you guys haven't, I highly recommend going check out that video because it does explain everything so well. But that's about it for the Poindexter quote. So let's move on to the Sally quote, and I'll play it for you guys now.
Her fearlessness will protect the Four. She would be the last of the Four. The final soul has been found. I must be careful. He is always watching. If you dig deep enough, you can find the truth. Sometimes the truth is harder to believe than the lie.
So as you guys heard right there, it's mainly the same thing that happens with Poindexter. He goes and says, instead of knowledge this time though, it's her fearlessness will protect the Four. So still wants our characters to survive. He talks about how she's the last of the Force, but if you guys have heard the character bio quotes, you would know that he found Poindexter, then he found AJ, then he found Andre, and now he found her, and she was the last one he found, so that's why he's saying the last of the Four. But anyways, getting to this next part, and this one is completely unique to her, and it's so interesting because we hear Willard Wyler go and say, I must be careful. He is always watching. And this just blew my mind when I first heard it. I was all like, this is perfect. This is exactly what I wanted in this storyline, because who is this person that he's talking about? Who could be somebody who Willard Wyler is actually frightened of, that they would find out what he's doing? Before this, we always thought Willard Wyler was maybe on top, but then we're not too sure what's happening with Methodopsis and the devil. We don't know what's happening there. Easy explanation to this would be that, yeah, it's just Methodopsis with the devil, but I'm not entirely a fan of that. And even though it probably is the right answer, but there's been something bugging me for a while, and it comes from a quote from Pam Grier. Unfortunately, I don't have an audio cue on this. I plan to make a separate video talking about it because of how interesting it is, but generally what it says is that these movie universes aren't just some made-up thing that were created out of nowhere. They're actually other universes that Willard Wyler sent our characters to. But if that's true, then it kind of leaves the supernatural area, which would include the devil and Mytholopsies, because those are kind of supernatural. But if they're traveling from universe to universe, that would be more on the side sci-fi side. So if this person is not exactly a supernatural being, then maybe he is some other character, someone like maybe Monty, not exactly like Monty, I wouldn't like that, but just like some person who has a good amount of power that is kind of watching over Willard Wyler, which is so interesting. But anyways, tell me what you guys think about who that could be. Any ideas at all? Do you guys think it's just going to be a simple devil or Mephistopheles, like those demon supernatural stuff, or are you guys leaning towards the sides, or are you guys leaning towards the side that's going to be someone new entirely? But anyways, that's about it for this video. If you guys did find this video interesting, go ahead and thumbs up. If you guys want to stay tuned for content similar to this, go ahead and subscribe. But I'm going to go, and I will catch you guys on my next video.